Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Elliott and I run an agency called Botters, and we're on track this year to spend around £11 million on advertising and generate in the region of £80 to £90 million of revenue for our clients. Last year we generated 74 million, the year before we did 56 million, so we are pushing closer to the 85, 90 million mark this year in revenue for our clients through our paid ads. And so I say that so you understand the lens in which the information I'm about to share with you comes from. It is not random stuff pulled out of thin air, but more things that are really being proven and tested as we speak right now. And so in this video, I'm going to share 4 things that are working very well for us right now here at my agency and also in my friend's agency. Because you see, I had the pleasure of catching up with my friend Ali yesterday, and he runs an agency and he spent about $30 million on ads himself. And we were just catching up, shooting the shit, as you say, chatting about what's working well. And I thought there's some real gems here that I want to share with you. So the first thing being that super narrow and super niche specific messaging is crushing it on Meta. So what do we mean here? Well, Ali shared how he's been targeting really specific industries like window installers and less saturated niches. And as a result, hitting them with a specific offer and getting really high quality leads and conversion rates versus broader strategies. So this is kind of like advertising 101 to a degree, because if you have very generic messaging, then it tends to appeal to very few people. But if you have very specific messaging, then it works really well. And so what we're noticing is crushing it on Meta now, especially given the fact that the competition is so high these days. There's so many more advertisers, so many more people are banging out all sorts of ads about random stuff. The more niche you can be with who you're targeting and then what your offer is, that is the winning combination. So a good example, actually, we had a campaign running for one of our clients where we're scheduling people to book a call, and it's a SaaS company. So we run 2 campaigns. One is like a broad campaign that targets all of their potential customers, which in this case could be plumbers, electricians, salon owners, any type of small business. And we ran that campaign to a generic landing page versus a campaign specifically targeting plumbers, financial advisors, pub owners, salons, etc., all with specific ads that have people in it that are from that profession, with specific ad copy, and they go through to a specific landing page that, again, positions the product specific to that industry. And guess what? Cost per book call on the broad open one is about £150. Cost per book call on the niche specific one is about £80. And the conversion rate from the niche specific ones is even higher as well, as in conversion from appointment to sale. So niched down specific things work really well. And even if you target loads of different people or just create separate campaigns, that enables you to niche and be more specific with your ads. That way you cut through a lot of the noise. And so I put an example here. Attention shutters and blinds companies in East London, very specific type of business and location. And then for the offer, we'll fill your calendar with showroom appointments at least 2 weeks in advance for the rest of the year, or you don't pay. Because these guys, we know they want showroom appointments. So getting that specific rather than just saying sales or book calls is going to get you a much higher conversion rate. Now, a lot of people see something like this and they're like, oh my God, that offer is ridiculous. There's no way I could do that. And so my thoughts for you are as follows. Maybe think about how you could offer something like this. How can you get better? Is there a way in which you can improve your service or focus it so you can offer something like this? Because let me tell you, when you have a really good irresistible offer, then marketing actually becomes really easy. Marketing is very hard when your offer is very generic and very dull. So that was thing number 1, niching for the win. Number 2, then, we were talking about lead forms and immediate follow-up. So a lead form being on Meta, the form that you can create within the platform. So people can submit their details to you without actually leaving the platform. And so these are good, but generally we run nearly all of our campaigns for our clients across sending them to landing pages and getting people to convert through a landing page form. Why? Because I prefer the additional friction of going to a website and then going through a form there, because it tends to result in a higher quality of lead. Whereas with Facebook lead forms, it's so easy, you get a lot of bad leads. And so normally you need to add quite a few qualifying questions to the lead form in order for the quality to be good. But that being said, Ali was telling me he's having some epic success with running lead form ads, again with a similar offer, like above, so the offer is compelling, running the lead form ads, getting the leads, and then having an appointment setter ring them up within 20 seconds of the lead coming in. So proper focusing on the speed to lead, which if you're not aware, lots of studies on this, Harvard Business Review, you can increase the conversion rate of your leads into sales by 400% just by ringing them up within the first 5 minutes. Now, if you do what Ali was doing and getting on them in the first 20 seconds, then it's even higher. So if you are going to run lead form ads, then do this and have someone who's going to ring them up immediately. Now, we also chatted about how this is just the biggest hack in marketing. It's having an appointment setter or someone to ring your leads. Like, people love to, fantasize over this digital first age where we can just build a funnel that runs completely automated with no human touch and get conversions. And yes, you can do that, but you just quadruple the effectiveness of any funnel by getting someone to bring up the leads. So therefore, why don't you just do this? I know the reason why is because most people don't do the maths and they don't know how to find that person and train them and get them working in the business. So I understand that. But particularly when you run the numbers, it nearly always makes financial sense to do this. So I ran this example of an online education company that sells a £1,500 product. So if they're spending £2,000 on ads, they are generating 200 leads, so roughly a £10 cost per lead. From those, they're getting 20 calls booked in, just without a human, people going through to the scheduler. That would give them a £100 cost per call, and the close rate from those calls, let's call it 30%. It's a pretty decent close rate. So from that, they'd get 6 sales, so cost per acquisition would be 333. That means they spend £2,000 to get £9,000 back in revenue, meaning a total return of £7,000. Okay, if we not looking at growth margins there, just for this example. So that's without the appointment setter. You then hire an appointment setter and pay them £3,000 a month. Then with the same 200 leads, you're going to get 45 calls, so more than double the amount of calls, and that's kind of conservative. Normally, we'll see the amount of calls triple or quadruple, but let's keep it conservative. So it goes to 45. That means your cost per call, excluding the salary here, just based on the ad spend, goes down to £44. You maintain the close rate, you get 13 sales, CPA falls to 153. So you've now spent in total £5,000 because we've spent the same on ads, but we now spent £3,000 on the appointment setter, but we brought in £20,000, and therefore our return on that £5,000 is £15,000. So whilst the ROAS dips slightly, overall throughput is massively increased. And that's without increasing the spend, because now you could increase the spend with confidence to just get more and more calls. So when you run the numbers, it literally makes sense for pretty much every single business. And yeah, if you're not doing this, do it. It will change the game. Okay, the next thing is once you've got a bunch of calls getting booked in the calendar, obviously you need them to show up. And so how can we increase the amount of people that actually show up to these calls? So of course, you should have automated emails, SMSs going out. And that is bog standard, makes sense. What we were doing then is we were getting our sales reps to WhatsApp them and send them a voice note saying, hey, Elliot, looking forward to our call on X time. Can't wait to see you there. But Ali was telling me how he's having great success with sending iMessages. So iMessages in particular, because obviously iMessages can't be automated by machines yet, as far as I'm aware. So they look very natural and very human. But then also, instead of just doing a voice note, which is what we were doing, they were sending selfie-style videos, which is obviously a step up, because when they can see the person behind the call, all of a sudden they can imagine who they're going to speak with. It sets a clearer vision in their mind of what the call's going to look like. And also, there's the law of reciprocity. If someone's taken time out of their day to send you a video, then you're going to be way more likely to actually turn up to the call. So we've started implementing that today as well, because we weren't even doing that. So some quick wins for show up rate. And then the final thing we talked about was conditional logic in funnels. So conditional logic is important, and all in regards to making sure you are qualifying the right leads. Because as with all of our businesses, if you're running ads, generating leads, you're going to get good leads and bad leads. We want to qualify them. And the best way we can qualify them is through qualifying questions, where we ask them questions that signal whether they are good or bad based on the criteria we have around the leads in our business or the leads that we want. And so we can use conditional logic in forms to actually choose to direct people to different places. Because if someone is qualified, then boom, we can direct them to the scheduler and we can get our appointment setter to ring them up and book them in. If they're not qualified, then we don't want to waste any time ringing them up or getting them booked on the calendar. Instead, we can ideally downsell them to something. So this is where if you've got a lower price membership course, whatever it might be, that's where it becomes helpful to have a place to send these people that aren't qualified for your slightly higher ticket thing. And so this is extra layer once you are running a good funnel and you've got decent throughput. This is how you begin to optimize it and take it to the next level and just improve the overall output and throughput. So those things are working well right now. So I hope that was useful. Hopefully you got some things that you can swipe and deploy. I want to share this. I wrote all of this out in my free newsletter that I send out, but thought it would be a good video as well. So if this was useful, drop it a thumbs up, subscribe for more epic videos like this. Otherwise, have a great day, and I'll see you soon.